so much green this morning. The Dow is poised to hit 14 straight days of gains today, which would tie a record last seen in 1897 when I was just a lad. But the real story isn't the Dow, is it? The NASDAQ has outstripped the Dow all year and is going to keep doing just that. At some point, there's going to be a point where folks start taking profits in the Mag 7 and moving them around to other underpriced stocks. And that will foretell the potential that maybe this is the year that Cathie Wood has her second big hit. She was not a one-hit wonder. Just wait. Now, that is not investment advice, but I do have a little bit of stock in Cathie Wood. Anyway, this is Randy Kirk. If you like the morning show, hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. Not even sure what I'm going to get you later today. I've been thinking a lot about a fireside chat. That might be what I do for this afternoon. A fireside chat. What would that look like? Check it out later today. Hit notify so you don't miss it. And of course, tomorrow we'll have the weekend review tomorrow night. You want to hear that? Lots of good stuff coming up this weekend. All right. And then Patreon. I'm almost at 90. I think I'm at 89 right now. So we're trying to get to 100 by Monday. You can do it. Help me out here. Yes, there's original content. I'll be putting up more original content. There's lots of good stuff up there, as well as it just helps support the channel. I don't know if you know, this is a 40-hour-a-week job for me to do these 3 videos a day. Oh yeah, I have 2 other jobs, and that's 25 more hours a week, but that's 40 hours just for this channel. All right, here we go. The GDP came in scorching hot this morning at 2.4%, helped by consumer spending. Listen to this now: consumer spending, government spending. That was a surprise to me. Non-residential fixed investment, not a surprise, and inventory growth. Don't like that last one. We need the inventories to start going down again. At the same time, a Commerce Department inflation gauge came in at just 2.6%, down from 4.1% last quarter. Why am I not surprised? This is Goldie. I mean, this is incredible. Can't get much better than this. Jobless claims dropped another 7,000, and they were expected to go up by 20,000. Last week, they were expected to be 20,000 higher. This week, they were supposed to be 25,000 higher. More strength. The market is strong. Of course, the market is rallying strongly on all this amazing news this morning. I can't possibly know or suspect that the PCE will also surprise tomorrow. Could it? That's the Fed's favorite inflation index. There's no way to know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but what do you think? I think that the PCE will surprise tomorrow, and that will give us another update on the Dow and on the NASDAQ. Talk about a sweet set of reports. Well, Colin Powell said yesterday that I was right. I said there's not going to be a recession. He says there's not going to be a recession. I said it months ago. Come on, Colin, catch up, would you? He said that, oh no, not this. He said that the fact that employment was high and that those employed workers, also known as consumers, were buying goods and services meant no recession. Oh yeah, that's what I said months ago, Colin. Look, I like you. I really do. I said that yesterday. But you need to catch up. This is old news. I've been reporting it for months. Yes, there is such a thing as a full employment recession. You know that a recession is actually just a reduction compared to the last quarter. So there could always be a massive quarter or a massive 2 or 3 quarters, and then a slowdown that gets you down to negative numbers for a couple of months. That can be a recession, even though you have full employment and really the economy is going gangbusters. That is a very odd situation, but we might be headed towards one. So could we have a situation up 2.4% right now on the first reading? All of a sudden, do we have a 2.8 next quarter? I don't think so, but automotive could really help that because of the aging fleet. Keep it tuned to this station. We'll keep you up to date. Okay. Let's see. Truflation continues to provide a worry spot for me. It's up again today. 100% of the up is coming out of transportation and food. But of course, transportation and food, what do we got going on there? Well, we've got oil prices, and we've got the war in the Ukraine, where they're bombing the port and potentially stopping grain from getting out of the ports. Well, that's a worldwide market, the grain market, even though in the United States, we would not have any issue of not getting enough grain to fill our bellies, but it's a worldwide market, therefore grain prices are up. Oil prices are up almost a break 80. Don't like that a bit. I did see a headline today saying OPEC might break, which would send oil prices down to 35. That would be pretty incredible. That would be the end of inflation for sure. That would be deflation for sure. Anyway, okay, let's get on here. Housing. Okay, same thing I've been telling you for months. Remember now, I do have a great deal of specialization in the area of housing. I've written 2 books on real estate. These are not under my name; these were ghost written. But I've written 2 books on housing, so I know a great deal about housing and a great deal about real estate. So we've had a month-over-month increase now for 4 months in a row. No surprise. When did I tell you that? I told you that 5 months ago. I told you when we're going into season and there's no inventory, we're going to see increasing prices regardless of the interest rate. The interest rates they're not that high. They're around 6.5% to 7%, and you can buy it down. People have a lot of cash, so they can buy down that interest rate. If they don't like to pay 7% or 6.5%, they can buy it down to 5 or buy it down to 4. Not only that, people say, "Oh, I'll get the 7% interest rate. Who cares? 2 months from now, I'll just refinance it down because it'll be at 4% in 2 years." So there's lots of reasons why people are not stopping buying these homes, and there's just no supply. Now, Colin Powell said, and I disagreed with him, that there's new houses, new residential houses in the pipeline, and I'm going to give him this. There are, but they're not current. They're not like next month. They're not like even 2 or 3 months out. No, they're next year. Next year, there's going to be some residential housing coming in the pipeline. Some of that's even going to be affordable housing. There are permits pulled. There are housing starts, but it's months and months away. All right. Dip in sales, 0.5% in housing. Duh. Total sales down 3.3% month over month. All right. Gasoline prices are surging. I mean, up 7-8 cents this week alone. Well, how can that not be? Oil is up 20% from recent lows. It was 77. It dipped into the 76 or I'm sorry, 67, 68, $66, and now it's up to 80. Well, of course, gas is going to go up. So the OPEC and the Saudis have gotten their wish. This is kind of the issue that can start to become, this is where I'm talking about being some trouble here. Okay, more bad news. Well, okay, there's not much bad news today, but the dollar is down, okay? There's a point at which that's not good news. You don't want the dollar to completely collapse. That hurts exports. I mean, it causes import prices to go up. Import prices going up, of course, is inflationary. So you don't want the dollar to completely fail. We need the dollar to start moving up a little bit. But what's happening is other countries, the European Union, increased their interest rates today by 25 basis points also. So there's a war on for money right now, and part of that will decrease the dollar if we are having the lower interest rates compared to other countries. So the yield inversion is still firmly in place. We have the 10-year about to break 4%, but the 2-year is getting close to 5%. And the 2-month is getting close to 5.5. I don't think that we'll pay as much attention to this inversion in future years. I have been talking about this inversion being completely wrong for at least 6 months, that this inversion is not indicative, in this case, of a recession coming, but rather it was the smart money going into those long bonds. It was happening with regard to the regional banks, and some of them got burned, but it was also happening with regard to corporations. That's just now being reported. Corporations had all this cash on their balance sheets. They were putting it into treasuries because it was the smart place to put it. They were putting in a long-term, in a money market funds, because that was the smart place to put it. And so that has been part of the reason why the bonds have the interest rates have stayed as low as they have in the 10-year. The Fremont, going to Tesla news, the Fremont factory appears to be shut down completely. We'll be watching that over the next couple of days. I'm super interested to see how quickly it reopens. And also, what were they doing with a full shutdown? Why did they shut down all lines? What kind of changes were they making? I don't know why they would shut down S and X unless it was just more convenient. I suspect there might be a little bit of hedging in terms of reducing inventories or reducing total production, just a little bit. Not a ton, but just a little bit. That's just my guess. Tesla has done this move again. They've opened another showroom on tribal lands in order to circumvent dealer-only laws, in this case in Connecticut. So almost every state has some kind of tribal lands, which are not within the purview of the state's rules and regulations. Therefore, Tesla can go into those states. I'm surprised they have they done this in Texas yet? I think they did it in New Mexico. Maybe they should do it in Texas as well, or maybe they're hoping that Texas will finally get a brain. Huge search interest. Speaking of that, huge search engine interest in Cybertruck is coming from, wait for it, the flyover states. No one would have ever expected such a thing. Oh, really? So what we've got going on now is, of course, the Model 3, Model Y, Model S, Model X, mostly being sold, I mean, in big numbers on the coasts, and most of that in California by a big, huge amount. And some where California is now, over 20% BEVs. A lot of the states are down around 2.5. But all of a sudden, the Cybertruck is on the way. There is more interest, more search engine interest on the Cybertruck right now in the flyover states than there are in the coasts. That is kind of mind-blowing. Elon Musk says, I tested the version 12 alpha build today. It is mind-blowing. Well, that's really good news, Elon, but you have said that about a lot of the other builds. Now, version 12, of course, is a complete change. It is edge to edge, front to back, all deep language learning, or deep learning, rather, on the new system. So he says it's mind-blowing. I'm okay with that, but I need to hear from some of the other folks once the version 12 is out. There is a new version out, and a couple of the early videos still show it making mistakes. So I don't know. I'm waiting. Anyway, where's the market now? Let's take a quick look at where we are at this moment. Tesla was up 4. It's up 267 now, with a little uptick looking like it's going that way. The other Mag 7 all up. In fact, there's just nothing but green. It's easier to just say everything is green. The Dow is up, but the NASDAQ up is way more. So the Dow, for instance, is up 90. Well, let's turn it to percentages. The Dow is up 0.2%, 2.26%, but the NASDAQ is up 1.53%, and Tesla is up 1% basically. So the S&P, if you care, is up 0.83. A lot of people think the S&P is the real one to watch. Okay, let's take a look at the other stuff here. We've got the cryptos are up a little, still in the 29s though. We've got the dollar is falling. Gold is falling dramatically, down 1.28% per today. I need to think that through. Oil is at 79, just a buck away from 80. Don't like that at all. Bonds now at 3.9. Don't like that. So that's what's happening on the markets right now as we close this up. Listen, hit like if you haven't already done that. That really helps the algorithm. Number 2, please hit subscribe. That also helps me a ton. Hitting notify helps. Now, if you hit subscribe, but then you never look at another video, that does not help. So only hit subscribe if you think this is someplace you're going to be coming back to. And then, of course, love to have you join Patreon. Free for 7 days. Got nothing to lose. Jump on for 7 days. Take a look at all the content that's up there. It's all 100% current. Nothing that I've done up there on Patreon so far is not useful to you right this minute. So I'm encouraging you to do that. I'm at 89, I think it is now. Love to have us hit 100 by next Monday. Let's see. Oh, be sure to take a look at my video yesterday on the Giga Catalysts. Seriously, no other company has the catalyst that Tesla has right now. We're talking about historically, nothing like this. These are catalysts that will change the world, not just change the market, not just change a market. These are they're bigger than mega. They can only be called Giga Catalysts. There are 10 of those. Hit the card above if you'd like to go check those out. Hey, that's all I got for you right now. It's been great talking to you.